I personally think F1 is the movie of the summer for me so far. It's one of my favorite films of the year. It was definitely the most fun I've had in theaters this year. Not even close. Like in terms of just enjoyment and fun, this felt like a true like old school summer blockbuster. Definitely gave off the, again, the comparisons to Top Gun Maverick, of course, like Joseph Kosinski, like we get it. Like I agree. It is definitely that Top Gun Maverick type of summer blockbuster, but that's a great thing because I think Top Gun Maverick's one of the best summer blockbusters that's come out in the last 20 years. So again, for me, I thought F1 was fantastic. We actually saw it on IMAX and we're just blown away by it. The movie is fantastic. I mean, that's just my opinion on it, but I love this has tons of rewatchability. This had, Brad Pitt's great in this. The whole cast, Javier Bardem is sensational in this, in my opinion. His character is almost a character you root for almost more than anybody else in the movie. And it was just a blast to watch, man. The racing scenes in this, the music, just everything. We saw it in a packed IMAX screening, and it played very well. Like it was very, like I can see why this movie's doing so well at the box office. I think it's going to have legs throughout July, even though there's going to be a ton of competition. I do think if you haven't seen it, you need to see it now because pretty soon they're going to be taking that out of the premium formats like IMAX and 4DX and all that. But yeah, just from my one time watching it, I definitely want to revisit it. I'm going to try to catch it in theaters before it leaves, but I just loved it. I thought it was one of the best movies of the year, by far my favorite movie so far this summer, which is crazy because there's been some really good movies this summer so far, but this is number one for me. Yeah, and I liked Thunderbolts. I liked,
Oh yeah, if we're
obviously
gonna count that,
I
then yeah,
enjoyed Final Reckoning as well.
yeah. So there's been a few for
Yeah,
sure, but yeah, this is the most fun I've had in the theater in a long time. When when the movie starts, probably within the first 5 to 10 minutes, I knew that it was going to be great. I knew that it had already set the tone for it to be a great movie, and they just hit all of those things that I want out of a movie like that. They have the drama with the new young rookie. They had a little bit of the love story sprinkled in. Javier Bardem was, like you said, fantastic. I just felt like for a movie like that to work, you have to make people feel like, even people that aren't real familiar with F1, you have to make them feel like they're in there in the driver's seat with the guy with Brad Pitt, and they did that masterfully. I mean, I don't think I'll be like a huge F1 fan after this, but it did make me care about it way more than I did before going into the theater. So yeah, I agree. This is one of the best movies I've seen this year, probably the best movie I've seen this year and maybe in the last few years. I mean, it's just a good, fun summer blockbuster, which we don't, in an original one, not
yeah.
one that's a sequel to something or, a remake or anything like that. And I hope they make more blockbusters. I mean, remember like when Men in Black came out and that was a completely new IP and completely new thing. Independence Day, like I wish we get back to more stuff like that, and hopefully this paves the way for that.
Well, even though this was attached to F1 and it's almost a big marketing thing for F1 and Apple, for the movie to have as much heart as it did and for that to not bother me whatsoever, because again, there is the Apple product placement with him wearing the AirPod Maxes at the beginning. There's a ton of like, this movie is F1. Like F1 gave it their blessing, like that, so it is based on that. But this movie is way better than I think it has any business being. I thought the trailers were pretty decent, but this movie was like way better than even the marketing made it, because I knew that the racing scenes were going to be incredible. But I was like, what kind of story are they going to have with it? I think that's what made Top Gun Maverick so sensational is like you really cared about the characters a lot. But the difference is you had a previous movie to kind of get connected, at least Maverick. With this, I think that Brad Pitt just knocked out of the park. And I'm so glad that he was the one in this role because Brad Pitt has this incredible ability to be like, just movie star looks, obviously. I mean, the guy's just like, he's, people's sexiest man alive, all this stuff, but he picks roles where he never is that character in a movie.
Yeah.
Like I think the coolest character he's probably ever played is Rusty from Ocean's films. Like where the character's looks and cool personality kind of play into what he's doing.
Yeah.
With this, like every other movie he plays, man, I just love the roles that he chooses. I think Brad Pitt, we're gonna look back at his filmography. And here's a guy that could have went a completely different route with just being like a heartthrob role all the time. And he really seeked out really cool work. in F1. I'm glad to see him finally getting in a big summer blockbuster that's just fun, but he adds so much to that character of Sonny. Like you said, first 5 minutes, he just commands the screen, man, and you're just all invested into his character throughout the whole thing. The whole cast is great. Damson, I forget his last name, but the guy who plays Pierce,
Yeah,
since that guy's going to be just a
yeah,
megastar.
he was
Dude's going to
fantastic.
be a megastar, man. And yeah, I just loved it. It was fantastic. And now we got to get into something else. Now we got to get in because it is the summer movie
Now we got
season.
to come off of our high and
We got to come off of the F1 high. And just to really quickly piggyback on what you said, hopefully Hollywood learns the right lessons from all this. That although the opening box office, I hope they look more into like what's making F1, what's making Top Gun Maverick, what's making these movies successful. I started getting irritated with they were calling the F1 the dad movie of the year and all this. I hate that because it gives it this thing of like, hey, man, it's just for like 50, 60-year-old dudes, just, and again, I know dads can be 20, 30, but it gives off that idea of like, this is something your dad take to, I kind of think of a movie like Taken like that, like a dad movie, like, where it's like an older guy just kicking ass and kind of,
well, and I just look at you know, we were probably going to enjoy this movie even if it wasn't the best movie. We probably still would have liked it a little bit because we love sports. Brad Pitt, obviously, but to really see how good a movie is, I think you got to look at people that aren't into racing at all
yeah,
or aren't into any kind of sports type things and how they view it. And the people that we know that have seen it that aren't into those things,
yeah.
they probably
Well,
loved
and
it
just,
just as much.
yeah, and just it's a true family. I mean, just a
Yeah.
great summer blockbuster.